Hello, I'm Mike, Product Manager for Cantabular at the Sensible Code Company. After a recent conversation with the Oxford University Data Lab team, we were wondering how easy it would be to connect up Cantabular Audit, an output checking tool, to their new platform OpenSAFELY, a secure analytics environment for electronic health records, in order to automate disclosivity checks for tabular outputs. To find out, we decided to put together a quick technical proof of concept. We're using a module from our platform called Cantabular Audit that can check a frequency table for common disclosure issues such as attribute disclosure, group attribute disclosure, and identity disclosure. All the software needs is the frequency table itself and some configuration defining which risks to check for and how to check them. We've set up a test OpenSAFELY project with a basic pipeline that generates some dummy data to match the variables we're interested in, then creates a simple cross-tabulation of this data before passing the crosstab to Cantabular Audit. Cantabular Audit then checks the outputs using rules defined in a custom language that we've designed for this purpose. I've already run the pipeline once, and each step has completed successfully. Now I'm going to change the population distribution in my study so it's heavily skewed towards one category of this care home status variable that I'm using, and run the pipeline again. The dummy population and the crosstab are created again, and then my Python audit script runs, calling Cantabular Audit with the disclosure rules that I want to use. In this example, we're using a single disclosure rule that's called here and defined down here. It checks a table to make sure that the output isn't too weighted towards any given category within any variable in the crosstab, which may represent a potential group attribute disclosure risk. We could also use similar rules to check for sparsity, identity disclosure, and other common disclosure risks. But here we're just using a single dummy rule to go with the dummy data. In this case, because of the change we've made to the study population, the crosstab is going to fail the check, the pipeline will fail, and so would the continuous integration test in the study's GitHub repository. This has been a useful experiment for us in that it raises questions about how to make this kind of thing work in practice. What's the best place for this kind of audit to sit within a researcher's workflow? Outside basic examples like this, what's a more realistic way to characterize the inputs we'd have to handle? What are the biggest risks inherent in the data, and what checks are researchers and data controllers currently performing manually that could be automated? And what kind of output would be most useful for researchers to get from an audit like this? So this is a very simple example with a basic cross-tabulation and only a single disclosure rule, but it demonstrated to us that a technical integration is relatively straightforward, and we're interested to see what other possibilities there might be.